Mhm. All right, I think we're going now. We're going good. I think we're going good anyway. I don't know. Hopefully you guys can see. You can hear me okay. Looks like sound's working. I think we're good to go. So let's see. Get the disclaimers out of the way. This is a weekly live broadcast. Every Thursday evening, pretty much every Thursday evening, 7 o'clock Central. This is where I'm at doing a live broadcast. It's an Ask Me Anything session. We don't have anything planned out. It's just we let the chat just kind of dictate how the video is going to go, how the broadcast is going to go. I do my best to respond to all the comments that come in during the live chat itself. I am getting better at responding to comments. I know I'm several days behind right now. I'm going to get in and get those responded to. I've been busy this week, but I made it a point to get back into answering comments on regular videos too. So if you leave comments on a video, I'm going to do my best to get to those as well. Just give me some time. What was I going to say? Oh, the only things I ask, be polite, be family friendly. Don't be rude to anybody. No reason to be hateful or anything like that. And we'll have a good time here. So, but you guys can ask me pretty much anything you want to ask me. We'll talk about anything you want to talk about. Let's get into it. Hey, Vermont Quail. Good to see you. Somebody else, I almost read your name differently. Vermont Quail. I'm here 100%, I think is what it says. So good job. Thanks for joining. We appreciate it. Good to see you. Joy from Western Oregon. Good to see you. Tony something. Tony hard name. What is that? Gualano? That's a hard name to say. From Toronto. Good to see you. Hopefully I didn't I didn't butcher it too bad. Hey, good evening. Good evening, Verna. Good to see you. Make sure I'm responding to the right person. Jesse Mills, good to see you. All right, let's see. Jamaica. Who's that? Lisa from Jamaica. Awesome. We got people from all over the place here tonight. And Verna says tomorrow she's going to call about 20 quail. I put more eggs in the freeze dryer right now, and I have about 10 dozen eggs and potatoes in the freeze dryer. Awesome. Says I sound great. Thank you very much. I appreciate the feedback there, letting me know. Sometimes it's happened before where my sound wasn't working. I didn't know it, and I was talking away for like 5 minutes before somebody said something. Katrina from Gilroy, California. Good to see you. Where are we at here? Verna says thumbs up, everyone. Thank you, Verna. I appreciate that. We do have a few thumbs up already. All right. Hopefully everybody is doing well. Let me scroll down a little bit here, get to some other. I got some people talking to each other, so I'll let you guys talk to each other. If I miss your comment and you see me respond to a comment that comes in after yours, go ahead and ask it again, because chances are I just missed it. There's a lot going on over here, and it's hard for me to keep up with it sometimes. RS from California, good to see you. David from McAllister Lake, or what's left of it. McAllister, is that McAllister, Oklahoma? Is that what you're talking about? Is that McAllister Lake? I don't know. I got to look that up real quick. McAllister Lake. Yeah, Oklahoma. Got it. Okay, I know where that is. It's drying up, I bet. Yeah, the drought we've been in, huh? Miss Kitty from Utah, good to see you. And let's see, Kayla, is that it? Says, do you feel like certain colors of quail are better good egg producers, or is it based on the genetics of the parent lines? I think it's really based more on the genetics of the parent lines. Really, any of the colors, I don't think the color affects it at all. There are some differences in certain breeds, I guess you would call them, of quail. Like, I can't remember the exact numbers of them, but they're really not huge numbers. You're going to notice big differences in your backyard. Zach from My Shire Farm did a video on this a while back and talked about the differences in the different kinds of quail. And I want to say like the tuxedos versus I can't even remember which ones, but some of them laid slightly different numbers of eggs per year. It's like over the course of a year, but you're talking like, you might get 300 eggs out of this kind of bird versus, 294 eggs out of that kind of bird or something. It's not huge differences in egg production. It's not based on color. It is really more based on the genetics, but there are certain, breeds, I guess you would call them, like Italians or tuxedos or, something like that their egg production can vary just a little bit. Orlando says, hey, Chris, I'm just watching one of your videos. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And Gaff the, what is that? Gaff the GG him says, I made it. Awesome. Good to see you here. Thanks for joining. Let's see. James from Kendall, New York. Good to see you. Hey, there's Brandon from Whiskey Tango Farm. Says, good evening, Chris and everyone. What things are you doing now that your batteries are charged back up? Are you looking at doing anything new for your property? Well, I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about a couple of different things. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I live in town, so I'm kind of limited on what I can do as far as livestock, animals, that kind of stuff goes. Thought about doing some chickens, maybe adding some chickens back there, just to have for, a little bit of egg production. I don't really need it because I've got all the eggs I can eat from my quail, but it is nice to have a chicken egg every once in a while. They're also good to have around for, like, I can throw all my chicken scraps to them and they'll just compost it for me. So that's pretty nice too. That would be a good thing to have them for. Then I thought about also maybe doing ducks instead, maybe a couple of ducks. Ducks are awful messy, or can be awful messy, but duck eggs are very, very good. And, I thought about doing a run of meat ducks, some Peking ducks. Peking, I think is what you call them, Peking ducks. They grow incredibly fast. So I may do a run of meat ducks at some point. I don't know yet. It's just, I got to figure it all out. But yeah, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I've thought about planting a whole bunch of stuff back in that back lot, but I got to get my squirrel population under control. They are just destroying everything. It's bad. I set out the trap for them and caught 10 squirrels in the last week. And I don't think it's slowing them down at all. So we'll see. 5G Homestead says, greetings from North Florida. Hopefully you're doing okay. The hurricane's not hitting you. Glad you joined tonight. Good to see you. Katrina says, it was good to see your bunnies on your video. It's amazing how much fur the rabbits have. I always feel like I just pulled off a whole rabbit's worth of fur. Yeah, no kidding. They could actually probably use brushed a little bit more too. But yeah, there was a lot of fur that came off just those 2 rabbits. They look so much more comfortable now, though. So much better. They're, still a little nervous when you go to the front of the cage. They're, well, actually, they're not really nervous unless you open the cage up. You open the cage up and then they're kind of like, I don't know. But once you pick them up, they just melt. They're just easy to handle, no problems. They're great. All right, where are we going here? David says yes. I don't know what that's a yes to. Probably to something somebody else is asking you. Hey, there's a link to a video all about colors that Verna posted. Let's see where that goes to. It says, oops, something went wrong. What's going on here? Cancel. I can't leave this site. Hang on. Yeah, it's not, that link's not working for me, Verna. Hey, there's Jasmine. Good to see you, Jasmine. Says, hello, Chris and friends. Charles says, is anybody breeding jumbo tuxedos? Let's see. I don't know. Are there any jumbo tuxedos? I can't remember if tuxedos are. Let me see something here real quick. I'm not sure. There's a MyShire Farm link on it. I don't have time to read it all while I'm on here. I'm not sure if they're in jumbos or not, though. I can't remember. Verna would probably know. Lisa says, like the new hat. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. I appreciate that. I love the new hat. It's great. My wife says I should be saying good day on all my videos because she thinks it looks Australian. It's made by Outback Trading Company, so I guess it is technically an Australian hat. But I don't know about all that. Verna says, ducks are loud and messy. Yeah, they absolutely can be. You're right. And that's the reason I'm kind of thinking about it, but not sure. Marty says, oh, everyone, hope you're having a good evening. So far, so good. I had a client in today, so I was kind of not sure if I was going to be able to make it tonight, but it ended up being just fine. Got here on time, no big deal. Katrina says, I second duck eggs. Yum. Yeah, duck eggs are fantastic. If you like fried egg sandwiches, there's nothing that beats a fried duck egg sandwich. It's the best thing ever. Whiskey Tango Farm says, hey, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. Good to see you. Thanks for joining tonight. Got both parts of Whiskey Tango Farms here. Gary says, hello from Alabama. Good to see you. Is that Gary or Jerry? I think it's probably Jerry. Brandon says, Ancona ducks are great. Ancona ducks are great for what? I'm going to type that in here so I don't forget what they are. I'm not a duck expert. So are they great because they're quiet, or are they great because they're prolific egg layers? I don't know. I thought about doing Pekings because you can do them like basically like Cornish cross. They grow incredibly fast. So you can get them as chicks, grow them up to butcher size by like 6-7 weeks. They're incredibly fast growing and pretty good size. So I thought about doing that. They are a little bit, from what it looks like, they're a little bit more difficult to process, to pluck. A couple other things. They're also expensive. Lot more expensive than buying Cornish cross chicks, but who knows? Maybe I can find a good deal on them. Regenerative Life, Wayne says, good evening. Going to be dispatching my first quail. Have many roos. Has anyone used the small tub quail pluckers? I know that some people have used them and said they worked great. I have not personally used them. I don't have experience with them. But yeah, that's a thought. Let's see. Katrina says that's a lot of squirrels. Yeah, it is for sure. And let me tell you my thought on squirrels. I don't mind squirrels at all. I kind of like squirrels. I think they're kind of cool little critters. They serve their place. But the problem I have with them right now is that, and I don't mind sharing with the squirrels. If they would take a little bit of my tomatoes, a little bit of my peaches, a little bit of the pawpaw, a little bit of my plum, whatever, take a little bit of that stuff, that would be fine. It wouldn't bother me a bit. They don't share with me, though. That's the problem. They take everything. They got all my pawpaws, most of my tomatoes, the few tomatoes I had grown this year, they got pretty much all of those. They've gotten all my, well, I don't have any plums growing right now, but everything. They take everything. They don't leave anything at all for me. Seriously, this year I didn't have peaches because the peach tree got hit by frost, a late frost. But 2 years ago, for example, I had the peach tree was just loaded. I mean, loaded with peaches. There were hundreds of peaches on there, and we didn't get a single one. Squirrels got every single one of them. We found all the peach pits laying on the ground around the tree, half-eaten peaches here and there. They didn't even eat the whole peach. They're coming and getting my tomatoes. It's a mess. It's to the point of it's just too many squirrels, and they don't share with me. So I got to thin them out. Hey, Vermont Quail, good to see you. Jalopy guy says squirrel is good eating. I agree, squirrel is good eating, but these are city squirrels. I'm not real sure about eating city squirrels, but who knows? Brandon says, are you planning on hatching out more quail to put in your freezer? It's too cold, or is it too cold already to do that for you? No, I've got some in the incubator right now, some eggs in the incubator. I'm having problems with my incubator. I think I'm going to have to call the company. I had a hatch like a couple of weeks before I went to QuailCon, and those, Brandon, I was talking to you about it at QuailCon and a couple other people there. Some of you guys may have heard this story already, but I had a hatch a couple of weeks before QuailCon. I set 35 eggs, hatched out 30 birds. I mean, just fantastic hatch. One of the best I've ever had. Just great. And then, I thought I heard something in the incubator. And then, so I saved up eggs from the same exact birds, saved them up, set them in the incubator, and they should have hatched out the week of QuailCon. They should have hatched out like Tuesday, Wednesday of that week. Well, none had hatched by the time I went to QuailCon, so I left them in the incubator just to see. Not a single egg hatched out of that. And I didn't change anything. The incubator, same settings, the same birds, everything. So I thought, well, who knows? Maybe it's an anomaly. Well, then my birds started molting, so they stopped laying eggs. I ended up buying some eggs from a local guy who happens to be a YouTube viewer of mine. Didn't even know it at the time, just saw his ad on Craigslist and said, hey, I want to buy some eggs from you because I want to get my incubator tested out. Threw those in there. They should be hatching like yesterday, today. I've got 5 eggs that have hatched out of those so far, 45 eggs set. I got 7 eggs that hatched. 2 of the birds died in the incubator, which is odd. It makes me think that my incubator, I've seen it, the temperature fluctuate on it a little bit. I've been trying to keep an eye on it. I think what's happening is it's dropping really low and then struggling to get back up. And then it's holding that temperature most of the time and then dropping really low again. So I think the thermostat's just kind of working intermittently. It's not working real well. And I'm going to have to call the company and get that fixed. I mean, there's still a chance I'm going to have some more birds hatch, but it's not good. 5. I mean, I threw some thermometers in there, checked the temperature, and it was reading correctly. And it says, 99.1 degrees on there. It was reading correctly. But the problem is I think it's just shutting off intermittently and letting the temperature drop too low and then spiking back up. That's my thought. Hang on. I got to check something. I think I do hear movement in the incubator. I can't see anything. So maybe I'm just hearing things. Who knows? All right. S.O. Swanson. Good evening to Chris and all you slightly rednecked fans. Thank you. Good to see you too. Thanks for joining. Brandon wants to know how the garlic did this year. The garlic did well. I mean, it didn't get really huge bulbs, but I got a lot of production out of the garlic. Most of the big ones I saved. I've already replanted them. Got them going for next year's harvest. I'll bring, I won't bring it in. You guys have seen me grate garlic before, but I got it all bundled up in a nice bundle hanging on the cabinet in there. ready to use. It did pretty well all in all. Sweet potatoes did well. That's about it. Everything else, and the okra did well. Who's that? Gudros? I can't pronounce your name ever. I know it. Is it Gidros? Gidros? Anyway, Urban Homestead in Louisiana is here. Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining. I know who you guys are. We got a chance to talk at QuailCon a little bit, so I know who you are. I just haven't figured out how to pronounce your name. I know I had, oh my goodness, I got a drinking problem. That splashed right up on my eye. Okay. Where are we at here? Brandon says, are you planning on planting garlic this year? Yeah, I think I already answered that actually, because I saved the biggest bulbs and stuck there. They're already planted in the ground. So, yeah, Verna says Tux is close to jumbo, but not really jumbo. That's kind of what I thought. I thought they were slightly bigger than standard quail, but they're not really considered jumbo quail. There's a chance that they'll get there eventually, but they're not there yet, I don't think. Chris from Portsmouth, Virginia. Good to see you. Got people talking to each other. I'll let you guys talk. Nick says, hey, Chris, how are you? My power went out the other day on day 13 for 2 hours with quail eggs inside. Should I throw the eggs away or continue? I'm in Sydney, Australia, so the weather is normal here. Well, since you're in Australia, no, I'm just kidding. It doesn't really matter where you're at. Just go ahead and run it. I mean, you're on day 13, day 14. You said the other day, so you should be probably on day 15 or 16 now. Why throw them out? Just see what happens. And chances are, if it went out for 2 hours, that's probably not enough to really, really hurt the eggs that much. I would bet that you're going to see probably a decent hatch rate there. So I would just let them go. I mean, if nothing else, like I said, you only got another couple of days. There we go. That link worked, Verna. You only got a couple of days left anyway, so why not just let them run and see what happens? Just plain. Hello to you. Jammin' Mike, good to see you. Says, hey, all from Tennessee. Just came back from taking care of the rabbits. Awesome. Took care of the rabbits a little bit ago, too. It's been a while since I could say that, but I have rabbits now. It's Jerry with a G. I knew that, actually. As soon as I said it, I knew I was wrong. Katrina says, I would ask Dale's Quails about ducks. He knows a lot. Yeah, I did think about reaching out to him. I was talking to him about ducks at QuailCon. So, sorry, I got distracted by another comment. So, yeah, he'd be a good resource to reach out to. James says, what ducks are good for fat? Duck fat rocks, but it's muy expensive. Yeah, I don't know which ones are the best ones for fat. I know the Pekings are supposed to have a pretty good fat layer to them. I really don't know. I'm kind of new to the thought of ducks. Vermont Quail says, Whiskey Tango Farms, what state are you from? They're from Wisconsin. I don't know if he's answered that or not yet, but they are from Wisconsin. And if you talk to Kristen from Wisconsin, you know she's from Wisconsin. She sounds like Wisconsin, more so than Brandon does, I think. Brandon says, Ancona ducks are good for meat, and they lay great amount of eggs. Everyone has Peking, so that's why I went with Ancona. Oh, you went that way just to be different, huh? But that's okay. I don't care. I'll check into them. I'll look at them. I know, I know Peking ducks grow incredibly fast, so it's kind of hard to really, I guess probably dispute those, but I'll check into those Ancona ducks a little bit too. All right. Gudro's Urban Homestead says James Muscovy ducks are, it's talking to James, I think is who you're talking to, right? Says Muscovy ducks are the best in my opinion. I was going to suggest that. I've heard that Muscovy duck meat is unlike any other duck meat. Muscovy ducks are unlike any other duck. They're just different in a lot of different ways. So that's a good one to have as well. Katrina says they take a little bit of each fruit and one bite of each fruit. Oh, the squirrels. Yeah, they did a little more than just a little bit, but you're right. That's even more frustrating when they take just a bite or two and then move on to another one. So James is talking to somebody else, but says, hey, Katrina, over COVID and getting back to building. Well, I'm glad you're over it. I didn't know you were ill with it, but I'm glad to hear that you got over it. Just Plain says, be having fried squirrel, my friend. Yeah, I like squirrel. I do. It's one of my favorite things to hunt. Squirrel hunting's a lot of fun, and I think the meat's very, very good. But I don't know about eating city squirrels. For some reason, I don't know. I don't know if it's a good idea. I just don't know. Maybe it's just one of those hangups I have, and there's no reason for it. Chris A says, I'm dealing with rats in my quail hut eating the feed. Oh, that's frustrating. I'd set some traps out for them if it was me. Rat traps, snap traps are probably the best bet. If you have to, you can put some poison out. It depends on how bad your rat population is. Same thing with mice. I don't like to use mice poison, rat poison, any of that stuff if I don't have to. But, if you get a lot of mice or a lot of rats, the problem is you can set mouse traps, snap traps out, and you'll catch some mice. But if you have a lot of them, it's like they figure it out and they stop going to the trap. So you almost have to resort to poison and things like that if you want to get them under control with a big population of them. Now, if it's not a very big population, snap traps are great. They work well and they can get rid of things really quick. I've tried some of those other homemade traps like buckets that lead into a pail of water, and you put a can on a piece of wire coat hanger across there, so they walk out on there to get the peanut butter on the can spins, they fall into the bucket of water. I've never caught a single thing in them. So I don't know, maybe they'll work for you, but they didn't work for me. Just Plain says a pellet rifle would do just fine. You're talking about the squirrels? Yeah, they have learned to stay just out of range of the pellet rifle. And I live in town. Now, I don't have anybody behind me, so I've got it pretty open. I'm okay with that. But anywhere to the sides, there's houses. I can't shoot a pellet rifle that way. And I can't be real obvious with a pellet rifle. Let's put it that way. It's frowned upon, to say the least, in town. So now I do typically dispatch them in the trap with the pellet rifle. I do that. And occasionally I'll get one that comes into the bird feeder, and that's pretty close, and I'll be able to get him with the rifle. But they do a pretty good job of staying out of range. Jammin' Mike says the only thing I don't like about the squirrels is they plant walnuts in the raised garden beds. Yeah, they do that too. And that doesn't bother me that much. I can pull that out. So that doesn't really bother me. It's when they actually go to eating my food, tearing up my house, getting into my attic, that kind of stuff. That's what bothers me. Vermont Quail says, okay, good. I will buy from you. I don't know who you're talking. You're talking to Whiskey Tango Farms probably, because I don't have anything for sale right now. Rock Hill Homestead says, we're about to cut down our peach and pear tree. The weather this year has just been awful to our trees. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's terrible. Jasmine says, Chris, I have the same issue with the squirrels. The new barn kittens I brought in from the homestead are actually doing a great job already. That and some 22s. Yeah, if I lived out in the country, heck yeah, I'd break out the 22 and they'd be done. But I don't. I live in town, and pellet rifles only got so much range. Orlando says, today I'm going to buy some quail eggs from Whiskey Tango Farms, but I can't. $50, but I don't know if is $50 for one. How many eggs for $50? I don't know how many eggs that is. Is that 25 eggs? Brandon, is that what you're saying? Wait. Okay. So Brandon, yeah, you're going to have to answer that question. Is that 25 eggs? Got a text message here, but I'll deal with that in a little while. So, all right. Katrina says, nice. I don't have any, nice. I hope you don't have any long-term effects. Yeah, it's a funny story about my COVID experience. It's been a year and a half since I've had COVID. Hang on a second. I got work stuff going on. I just got to double check, make sure. Not urgent. It can wait. So my COVID experience, I don't know, a year and a half ago, and it was before last QuailCon, so it's been over a year ago, a little over a year. It was real close to when last year's QuailCon was going on. And I came down with COVID. It really wasn't that bad. I felt a little run down for about 2 days, and then I lost my sense of smell and taste for, I don't know, a couple of weeks, a week and a half, something like that. And then it did come back, but it didn't come back as strong. And it's still getting better. It's still getting better. But for the longest time, I couldn't smell much of anything. My taste kind of came back, but not as strong as it was before. My sense of smell, definitely not as strong as it was before. Well, across from work, where I work, somebody's bought that warehouse over there, and they turned it into a grow facility for marijuana, because that's the new thing. It's medical. It's in Missouri. It is legal. Medical marijuana is legal, but not for what do you call it? Just not recreational. It's not legal recreationally. Not yet. It's going up for a vote, so it may pass. Who knows? But either way, they turned that into a grow facility across the street, and everybody was complaining about it, saying, "Man, it smells like weed out there." And I could never smell it. And then finally one day I got out of my truck and I'm like, I can smell it. I can smell it. And I always thought, if you're a cop, you could sit out there on the road and just pull people over and just have probable cause all day. Smells like weed. I could search your car. And, That's a bad idea. I probably shouldn't give them ideas, but I haven't seen any police officers doing that, so I don't think they would, but you could. All right, S.O. Swanson says that $50 per egg, that's a moneymaker. Definitely not $50 for one. No, it's not. I'm guessing it's for 25, probably. $50. Wait, or is it $50 for 100? It's probably $50 for 100. I'm doing my math backwards, but I don't know. We're going to have to let Brandon answer that. Did he answer it yet? I don't see it in here, but maybe I'll get to it if it is. We got a lot of comments to catch up to, and we're already 30 minutes in. Gaff says, it says, never raised turkeys and chickens together. I did, and they were just fine. Thought I had to get rid of the turkeys. Though I had to get rid of the turkeys. They were too hard to keep. But they are now at the Bear Den Zoo. Awesome. You gave your turkeys to a zoo. Cool. Huh, interesting. Yeah. There we go. 50 eggs is what he's saying. Brandon's got it down. 50 eggs. They're $1 a piece. Okay, that's not a bad deal for hatching eggs. And they throw in a few extras, too. All right. S.O. Swanson says, hey, cuz, I don't know who you're talking to. Exactly. I'm not sure. Are we cousins? I don't know. Katrina says, airplane, LOL. I lost track. Was I talking about an airplane? I don't remember. I'm lost. I don't know if you're talking to somebody else or not. Just Plain says, I just got my purple top turnips planted a day ago. A little late for me, but I'm ready for that salad. Awesome. Yeah, I thought about putting some beets in the ground. My wife loves beets. I like them too, but she loves them. And I thought about putting some beets in the ground because that's a pretty good cold season crop. But I really need to amend my garden beds before I do much else. And if I have something growing in them, I can't really amend them. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'll get to it. I doubt it, though. Whiskey Tango Farm says, G Dros, hard G like girl. I finally think I have it. Love. LOL, love Aaron and Christine. I have no idea what we're talking about now. I'm so lost. Whiskey Tango Farm says, I'm headed to bed. Rough day. Brandon probably will say on. I just wanted to say hi. Hope Star's doing well. She is. She's doing great. Her sister Estella is getting her silvering in, hoping she's good to go. She is, absolutely. She's just getting a little bit of the silvering right now. Not a lot, but she's doing well. She hops around the cage. She's one of the ones that comes up to the front of the cage every time I come by. She doesn't really want to be handled a whole lot. She doesn't mind it. She's okay with it, but she just comes up to the front of the cage every time I come by. Aaron says, yes, we love Whiskey Tango Farms. I love those guys too. They're good people. FD Man says, off topic, thank you for the help with rabbits. We just had 2 batches of 7 each Monday. Awesome. Congratulations. Well done. Let's see. Whiskey Tango Farm says, it's not even like it should. Wait, if it's not even like it should be, let us know and we will make it right. Okay. I don't know who you're talking to there, but Mocklod said, I just watched your video on sexing rabbits. I have a male bunny and a female taco and burrito. Awesome. Yeah, I thought that was pretty helpful. Hopefully it was. I'm glad you found it helpful anyway. James says, let's see, I'm putting together the materials for a DIY incubator, and my biggest problem is sourcing old-style incandescent bulbs. Time marches on and technology evolves, but this is ridiculous. Yeah, I know the issue there. I don't know where you can get old-style incandescent bulbs anywhere right offhand. Good luck. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. I've thought about that before in the sense of, I mean, I know where you can buy like heat bulbs and that kind of stuff. Those are still incandescent, but that's overkill for an incubator. You probably like a 250 watt heat bulb. I don't know if you could get away with something else. Is there I don't know. Somebody says the Home Depot has them. I don't have time to search all that much for it. Good luck. I hope you do find it. Ball with the Baw, I think is what it says. Scott from South Louisiana here. Awesome. Good to see you. Let's see, who are we at here? It says, got 25 eggs for my quail today. Can't wait to get to 50 plus a day. Well, congratulations on the 25. I'm sure you'll get there in no time. I'm not sure how many birds you have, but if you got 25 eggs coming, you got at least 50 hens, you're probably going to start getting 50 eggs in no time. Make sure you have a light on them if you don't already, because the days are starting to get shorter, and without extra light, they're going to start slowing down on their egg production. Was that Cam Thornhill says, my last batch of quail got killed. Should I buy more babies or eggs to start over? It depends, really, honestly. How experienced are you with incubating? You can get a little bit better bang for your buck with incubating eggs if you're decent at incubating eggs, but you take a bigger risk too, because you don't know what your hatch rate's going to be. If you've got people that are selling good quality, jumbo farrow in your area, and that's what you want. I mean, I'm assuming that's what you want because that's what I want, but it may not be. But if you got people that are selling those in your area and they're willing to sell you some babies for a good price, and I would say, week olds for $1, 2 weeks olds for $2, then that may be the way to go, because you can get them. You don't have to worry about guaranteeing hatch rate. You can get, ramp up really quickly. So I can't really give you the answer for that. It's going to be something you're going to have to kind of determine for yourself how to go with that. Orlando says, Brandon, I want 50 eggs if you guys can help with that. Quail Ridge Farm says Peking are meat ducks. Yes, they are. They can be used for eggs too. But yeah, that's kind of the big lure is meat ducks. They grow fast. They're the Cornish cross of the duck world. Yeah, there may be a good option with that. That's a good idea. So Swanson says to check for reptile heat bulbs. That could be an option. You might be able to find a lower wattage one, like a 100-watt one, that would be pretty good for an incubator. Carpenter Self-Reliance, good to see you. It says hello to everyone. Birching It Up says, love your channel here in North Carolina. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And let's see, Quail Ridge Farm says, squirrels know when the fruit is ripe. Yeah, they do. They're good at picking that out. We even put, I saw on another channel somewhere that she was protecting her fruit trees with tooling, like what you would put on like a wedding dress, and wrapping it around the tree. And the squirrels wouldn't climb up it. She said they get their little toenails caught in it. They don't like it, so they wouldn't climb up it. Well, I mean, I got access to these trees from all over the place, so I couldn't just wrap the tree up with tooling. But we did wrap it up around the pawpaw tree and up around the fruit. It didn't deter them at all. They got right through that and got all the pawpaw fruit off there. Let's see. Oh, that Johnny's talking to somebody else, but he does say, hey, Chris. Hey, Johnny, good to see you. Brandon says, I also went with Ancona because they are an endangered breed and all about improving and preserving endangered animals. They grow out just as fast as Dale's ducks. He has jumbo Pekings. Okay, that's interesting. I'll look into them and see. All right. Gaff says, let's see, a cat was near my chicken coop. She was the same one that got stuck in our tree. The FedEx guy helped us get her down. She didn't harm our chickens, though, but something has been attacking lately. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Boy, there's just so many things that will attack chickens, quail, all those kinds of things. It's hard to know for sure what it is. If you have access to a trail cam,